I'm no longer the young man sitting in the back, hoping colleagues would remember my name. It's time for the next generation of leadership.
Yes, the Senate Minority Leader. Joining me right now, Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville. He is a member of the Senate Armed Services, Agriculture, Veterans Affairs, and Health and Education, Labor, and Pensions Committees. Senator, great to see you this morning. Thanks very much. Your reaction to Mitch McConnell stepping down?
Well, a little bit of surprise, Maria, but I think he knew when it was time. You know, good leaders lead, and then they know also when it's time to step out to the side. This is a tough time for our country, Maria. We're in trouble. We're in bad trouble. We're declining every day. I've been here 3 years. I've never seen such decline from this administration, from the Democrats. You know, they fall in line. They vote not for their state, but for their party. Then they go out and spend a couple $100 million to get reelected. That's not what this country is about. The country is about voting for your states. Leader McConnell has done a good job, but I'm not for a lame duck leader, to be honest with you. We need leadership in the Republican Party. We need leadership in the Senate. And I'm for, in the next month, us picking somebody else out that's going to lead us, let them pick their own team. We have to have somebody, number one, that's behind the Senate, behind the American people, and behind President Trump. Somebody that can go out and stand on the podium with President Trump in the next six or 7, 8 months and get this job done. We're not going to have another chance. Leader McConnell can be a leader emeritus, stand on the side, consult. You know, he's had a tough time since his fall last year. I hate it for him, but we can't stop. We got to continue to grow. Our country needs leadership, and especially in the Senate right now, because we have to take the Senate, and President Trump has to win. If that doesn't happen, Maria, our kids and grandkids are in huge trouble. Well,
tell me about that huge trouble and about the declines that you mentioned for the country. Where do you see the most significant declines?
Oh my gosh, just look at, number one thing is debt. I mean, we're $34 trillion in debt, and even Republicans up here, 10 or 15 of our Republican colleagues have voted to spend all this money over the years, and when at a time we should be cutting money. Hey, I'm for helping people, but the federal government is not here to take care of every person in this country. We have to take care of the mentally unhealthy. We have to take care of our elderly, our veterans. Everybody else needs to go get a job. They need to get off that couch, but we're paying so many people. Maria, we have turned into so much of a socialist country, headed to communism, no free speech. They're taking all of our rights away. We had Secretary Vilsack yesterday, an ag meeting in front of our committee yesterday, and I asked him about our farmers. I don't think he understands. Our farmers are in trouble. They are in huge trouble. They're going to go bankrupt. And what are we going to do? We're going to let Walmart grow our food? I think people think that's where it comes from. We have no common sense here. But getting back to the leadership, we need somebody in the next few weeks to take over that's going to work with our senators, raise money, and help President Trump get elected, because that should be our number one goal. Hey, Leader McConnell can help, he can consult, he can do everything he needs to do, but we need strong, energetic leadership in the Senate now, not 8 months from now.
Yeah, I know that Mitch McConnell really hates Donald Trump. That's been obvious for a long time that you do not get along. Do you think this was part of it, that he's reading the writing on the wall? Trump is coming in and he can't support it?
Well, I would think that. You know, and again, I hate Senator McConnell and President Trump got into it, but, you know, they're two strong personalities. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I figured out real quick, being here for 3 years, if you don't have the White House, you have no power. I don't care if you're in the Senate or you got the leadership in the House. You have to have the White House. So whoever is our leader, and hopefully we get a new one, along with the help of Leader McConnell being on the side consulting, that person is going to go out as much as possible and stand next to Donald Trump wherever he's at and help him get elected, because this country, Maria, cannot stand another 4 years of this nonsense.
Who do you want to see there?
Well, there's about 10 people, and they've all called me. I took calls all night last night. I said, listen, I got 10 questions, and I'm going to talk to you one at a time, and I'm going to pick out the best person I think that's going to represent the state of Alabama and all citizens across the country, but not just Republicans, but also Democrats. Here's the deal. We don't have a Republican and Democrat party anymore, Maria. We've got an American party and an anti-American, and these people on the Democratic side, obviously don't like this country the way it is. They're transitioning it. Obama said he was going to do it. They're on the way to doing that. We got to stop this. We got to stop it, and it's got to be stopped now.
Well, a lot of your colleagues criticized Mitch McConnell for constantly working with the Democrats. I mean, look, just the other day, he's, pushing the aid to Ukraine, even though there was no change at the border. So are you going to be able to get somebody in there that puts America first and not Ukraine first?
Well, yeah, I'll say this. If you voted in Kentucky on, do you want to give $60 billion more to Ukraine or knock down the debt, I promise you they wouldn't vote to send it to Ukraine, the people of Kentucky. We've got to speak out for the American people. We don't speak for ourselves up here. We got too many people that do that.
So I want to get two things from you. First of all, the congressional leaders reached a bipartisan deal to keep the government funded past this Friday's deadline. I know lawmakers agreed to this 6 appropriation bills with the new deadline to vote on those bills by March 8th. The deadline for the remaining appropriation bills now moved to March 22nd. The bills will stick to the Fiscal Responsibility Act, discretionary spending limits, and January's top-line spending agreement. So I guess you're still working on Nancy Pelosi's budget, Senator. And then, of course, you've got the wide open border. Border Patrol Chief Jason Owens revealed that since October, there have been more than 890,000 migrant apprehensions just since October. Almost 1 million and more than 120,000 known gotaways. Democrats are now pushing to dismiss the Senate impeachment trial of Alejandro Mayorkas. Within minutes of the trial starting, even Joe Manchin is calling this trial ridiculous. So where's that going?
It's dysfunctional. This place, Maria, is dysfunctional. There's no leadership. There's nobody who'll stand up and say we can't continue to do this to the American people in a country of 248 years or we're not going to make it. The border's out of control. We all know that. I mean, this is an embarrassment. Mayorkas should go on trial. They don't want to go on trial with Mayorkas because all the evidence will be brought up. Schumer's going to fight it tooth and nail. The budget, the Senate we finished the budget last June. The Appropriations Committee actually did a good job of getting it all together for the first time since I've been here. We don't want an omnibus bill. We want a budget. We want to help the American people. But Chuck Schumer says, nope, I'm not bringing it to the floor. He wants an omnibus. He wants to spend billions more dollars on these sanctuary cities to help out these governors and mayors to get reelected. It's embarrassing how this place is run. And if we don't change this election cycle, Maria, it is over. The America that you and I grew up in is over.
This is very disturbing to hear a sitting senator say this. I tell you, this is definitely the conversations that I have, too. My friends are like, we're losing the country because of this wide open border, among other things, Senator. But I guess at this point, it's like, how are you going to fix things? A minute ago, you said we're now a socialist country headed toward communism. What do you mean by that? Are you referring to the Communist Party of China overtaking the United States and the U.S. taking its governing policies? What do you mean headed toward communism?
Well, just look at the things that this president's doing. We've given the president way too much power. The Supreme Court says you cannot take away the loans of students. They got to pay it back. He said, I don't care what you say. I'm going to change that. They are censoring everything. We've lost our institutions at the higher level, the FBI, the CIA, the DOJ. Look what these states are doing, taking a presidential candidate off the ballot. What's going to end up happening is the red states are going to turn around and say, okay, you're going to do that. We'll take the Democrat selection off the ballot. I mean, this is getting out of control.
Yeah.
It is out of control. Just work for the American people. We are a constitutional republic that has a constitution. Go by the damn thing.
Senator,
we don't do that here.
Really?
That's the reason I'm saying we are a communist country, socialist country headed south, and we better stop it in this election cycle.
Really well said. Senator, thank you. Good to see you this morning. Tommy Tuberville in D.C. We'll be right back.